been a while. Let's just from the jump, I want to just say thank you for sticking with me. I'm seeing my subscribers are growing and I really have not provided any new content. So I'm just super appreciative that you guys have been patient with me and you're like, Amber will get it together. She will gather herself and create the content. Let's just talk about how this summer has completely, like, right? I mean, on top of COVID, kids are home for school until 2021. So just no vacations and, just first world problems. But regardless, I wanted to jump on here because I have a lunch date this afternoon. And I want to show you guys how I've been doing my makeup during the summer. I'm on the East Coast. If you guys haven't caught up with all my other videos, it is extremely hot. Just way hotter than I've been accustomed to in the past 8 years living in Seattle. And the humidity is no joke, which means wearing makeup has become non-existent for the most part, unless I'm going to an event or have like a special situation. So today we're going to be doing a super simple, yet like, step it up just a notch like you tried kind of look. All right, so first things first, as I mentioned, being on the East Coast, the humidity is no joke. Like, at least in the past week, my car has indicated that the weather's been over 90 degrees, but it feels like 100 because the humidity is over 40-50%. So for those who don't understand, it is extremely sticky, hot. When the wind blows, it's just like Satan is blowing his hot breath on you, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So wearing makeup has really become like, damn, I don't feel like doing nothing but a moisturizer. But when you go out and, you're going to be taking pictures, even if you're sitting at an outdoor, socially distanced, eating space, you still may want to take a cute little picture. So this is what I've been doing for those particular occasions. First things first, you guys know that I'm an oily combination girl. And foundation could literally run right off of my face if I don't set and prep my skin appropriately. So we're going to go in with the Kiehl's Calendula Serum Infused Water Cream. Why water cream? I use water cream moisturizers during the day because I'm so oily and I do more of like a thicker consistency at night. I really like this Kiehl's one because it's light, but it's still effective. And a little bit goes a long way. I've probably had this moisturizer for about, 6 months. Yeah, and this has a 12-month shelf life, so I need to get to it. But I mean, it's only summer. I don't know. For 3 months. But it's probably going to be hot here until October. So I think we'll be able to get some good use out of it. So we've prepped the skin with our moisturizer for the day. Now you have some options here. You can do the Jackie Aina recommended like powdering, but I'm not doing any foundation today. So I don't really need any type of products that are like, I mean, you could, right? You could grab your pore, matter of fact, I think I have one in here, like a pore filling primer. Maybe I don't. Or you could use something more radiant if that's what you're going for. But I have not been using any primers because I'm really just trying to cut down on how many products are on my face because it's so hot. And this is personal preference. I always do, I prep my brows, but I don't do them to the end. So that's the direction that I'm going to go into. I'm going to use my absolute favorite concealer, not at the moment, just every time I'm in Walmart and I'm like, oh, let me get a backup for my backup. It's the Instant Age Rewind Eraser from Maybelline. And I am in the shade Hazelnut. I use Hazelnut to highlight my brow bone as well as highlight any dark circles or under eye areas when I'm doing like a full face. And then I'm going to be using my handy dandy E15 from my favorites collection. If you guys didn't know, your girl has a collaboration with Sigma Beauty. You guys can get some of the brushes that I'm going to be mentioning today. I mean, all of them from Sigma, but most importantly, my favorite brow shaping product. You feel me? I'm going to use this beautiful mirror here. So I like to go in, and you know I use nothing but Benefit products for my brows. So this is my Precisely eyebrow pencil. I'm in the shade 5. Sometimes I use 4.5, but I like that it's dual-ended. So I can use the spoilie to kind of brush my brow in the direction that I want it to go. Then I've taken some of that concealer on my E15 from Sigma and just, I like to underline and highlight the brow first. It's kind of like a stencil, like it just allows me to prep under my brow before I put on the pencil product. And then I like to bring that concealer down because, I mean, naturally as a woman of color, we have hyperpigmentation around our eyes, our lips, underneath, around our lips, under our eyes, and so forth. So I like to bring that concealer down because then it allows me to prep for the eyeshadows that I'm going to be using. But and hides a little bit of that darkness. And then if you're medium to fair, then it hides a lot of the redness and those veins that we don't like to see in our eye makeup. I'm just going to repeat the same step over here. So funny, I thought after being away from doing YouTube videos for a long time that I would be like a little, you know, kind of all over the place, but I'm feeling really comfortable. I think it's because I've just decided to stop thinking about making my background perfect or trying to find the light that's going to be perfect. I just want to get on here. You guys started following me because of me, not because of my fancy production, even though I'm sure you can appreciate it. All right, so now that we have the concealer on the lid, I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush. I'm sorry, you guys. I just got in town from Dallas literally days ago. I have not cleaned my brushes, but know that they were clean before I took them, okay? This is a Morphe M441 blending brush, and then I just blend the concealer all over my lid and buff it out because you really don't want anything too crazy, but you also want something that's going to be clean and pristine. Do you hear me when I say? All right, you guys, we're going to stay using our Morphe M441 brush, but we're going to be going into my absolute favorite eyeshadows at the moment. Those being the collection from Dose of Colors. You guys, Dose of Colors redid their branding, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, in the middle of COVID, nonetheless. And before they came out with the packaging that kind of looked like this, right? A different script, but still you were able to get 5 shades in these very compact, travel-friendly components, eyeshadow palettes. So they ended up doing the same colorways, like the blushing berries and the mauves and the browns. So I do have old packaging and I still use those, but then, you know, they came out with this new sleek matte finish, so aesthetic to their brand because they love a good old neutral child. This one right here are mauves. Then we have the new, which are these beautiful ones. This is Cutting Edge. I have the smoky one over there, but these ones come with a little bit more of their pressed pigments, and then they're matte shades as well. But what I particularly love traveling with is my Sassy Siennas and my Baked Browns because they're just so brown girl friendly. They show up, they're neutral, this is day appropriate, and then I always take one of the smokier palettes when I'm going out of town so I can transition tonight. But for the day, we're going to jump into, this is the Sassy Sienna palette, so everything is kind of brown and burnt and just love it, love it, love it. So the first shade that I like to go in is this middle one right here, and it's called Foxy. Yes, it's called Foxy. And just so that you know, Dose of Colors is cruelty-free, paraben-free, and talc-free. I just love their brand. I love their girls over there. Tatiana is one of my favorites. We, you know, troll each other in the best way online. Just encouraging and really sizing each other up. Whenever she does a makeup look, I'm like, bitch. And she's like, girl. So really love that team over at Dose. I really like Foxy because it's like the perfect shade of like brown and burnt. I hope you guys can see that on film and I haven't like blown it out with the light. Going to brunch, like today I'm going on a little day date. You know, don't want to give them too much, but just enough sauce for them to be like, oh, she's out here. She's out here. Okay, now I'm going to go into the next shade to the left called Brassy. It's more of a deeper burnt, and I'm taking just another fluffy brush. This particular one I'm obsessed with because it came in a Profusion eyeshadow palette that you can get from Target, but their built-in brushes, this two-sided one, is good. And as you know, Profusion is a really inexpensive eyeshadow brand in Target. So basically what I'm taking Brassy is right in the outer V, but still bringing it over to stop right over my pupil. And again, just creating some dimension with the browns, the burns, but nothing too intense. I'm telling you, it all works really, really well together. So again, we're coming out to the V, and then we're blending into just to the middle of the pupil. Then I'm going to go in with my E25, also a part of my favorites collection from Sigma. And I'm going to go into the deepest shade of the palette, and that's Stay Sassy. Right out here. And what I love about this E25 brush is that it's a blending brush, but it's flat. Because it really allows me to pack it on the outer V that you see here. And then, yeah, and then blend out. Also, you guys, I live with my sister and my niece. You may hear them because we're downstairs in the apartment below. Just want to preface it with that. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. So again, with my E25, I've packed out this outer corner like that. And then I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and just buff out those edges. Those edges. So there you go. It's very light. It's very neutral. I have a lash extension, so this is a part of the process. Please, ladies, if you have lashes, please just brush those suckers. Okay, let's just jump right back into it, you guys. So, like I mentioned before, I don't put on foundation. Period. It's too hot. But I'm definitely not going to be out here with, like, these dark circles and under-eye hot mess. So, what I've really, really been loving, I purchased this a while ago, so this is my backup. But I started pulling it back out of the arsenal. This is the Gel Serum Concealer from Sephora. I am in the shade Truffle. It is a perfect match to my skin tone. I love the application. And typically what I do, hear me out. Hear me out. Since I don't put it all over my face, I put it underneath my eye like this. And over my dark, like, marks from like picking with my skin. Let me tell you something. My sister bought me an extractor because I love popping pimples. Not necessarily my own either. Like, I definitely got in the wrong line of work. I should have been an esthetician of some sort. Or a dermatologist. That would have been dope. Like, I'm that person that will go down the rabbit hole of Instagram and watch blackheads and pimples. I mean, I prefer a blackhead if I could so choose, but I will watch a pimple. I don't really like the wet ones. We've gone too far. I like to take this concealer underneath my eyes. A good amount. I mean, I'm not going too ham, right? And then, like, I have a little dark mark there. I don't really have, maybe something like right there. I see a little something happening right there. But that's it. Girl, I don't be out here doing foundation. It's hot. It's hot. It's become one of my favorite brushes from Sigma, which is the F80. Even though this one came in rose gold, this was like a special collection, this is also in my favorites. So I love, love, love it. So what I do is, because it's a flat top kabuki like this, I just like to pat the concealer into my skin, right? Girl, I don't know. I've been watching my girlfriends put on foundation in full awe and admiration. Because I'm like, sis, how are you living in these streets when the sun is so unforgiving? She doesn't care about you wanting to be beat to the gods. She said, when the switch comes on, I'm showing up. Girl, and that is how we get covering up some action, a little bit of effort without, like, fully saturating our skin with product because it's so dang hot out here, okay? And as you saw, I took a little bit of that like residual and just put it like right in the center because I really wanted to buff out some of the cross concealer from when I highlighted my brow bone. So yeah, girl, we just pressed that in like that. And we look like we got a face on. We look like we have a face. And then if you want to take it another step further, this is totally optional. Like right here, I'd stop and just start putting on powder. But I do want to feel a little lifted. So I'm going to go back in with my Hazelnut concealer from Maybelline, the Instant Age Rewind. I'm just going to put it in the inner corner like that. Again, not a whole lot on my face. And if you want to highlight right here in the center, your nose, you can still get down like that. I don't need it. I don't need it anymore. It's hot. It's hot outside. Then you guys know I like to use my BH Cosmetic. This is the 117, really inexpensive brush, but I love how it's a flat top kabuki, but it's at an angle, so it fits really nicely under my eye. So I like to buff out my concealer with it. Yeah, girl, just in the inner. You know, you just want to be like, hey, girl, she's awake. She's looking lifted. But she don't got on a full face of damn makeup because she don't have time. Now, the trick during the summer to not wearing foundation is just, you can do, I mean, MAC has really good products that are quite covering and that are in powder form. And we're going to use one of those today. So, for instance, my Studio Fix becomes my overall face powder. So, I just press that in everywhere that I put. Just everywhere. Not even the only, like, I only put it. And let me be super specific. We're not using liquid foundation because there are powdered foundations out there that you can use as an alternative. All right, so now that we've used our Studio Fix all over the face, I am NW48 for those who use me as a reference. Yes, NW48 in the Studio Fix all over the face. Where we applied the concealer, I'm going to be using kind of like a golden undertone setting powder. This is Kunafa from Huda Beauty, and I'm going with my Sigma F03. It's a highlighting brush, but I particularly like it because it gets really close to my under eye. Shayna G, let me get a mirror. Stop playing. Okay. And then I just kind of brush it. I'm not using it, like I'm not, what is it? Baking. What is the word? Baking. I'm not baking it. I'm just kind of applying it over the concealer and then buffing it out because we don't want that concealer to move throughout the day because that can get really messy. And powders are always going to be our friend in the summer. I actually put my sister onto this and I don't think she'll ever wear foundation again. She's co-signed because who needs to do all of that? Which is so disappointing a little bit because I have a year's supply of Estee Lauder foundation over there. I have foundations up the wazoo, and now I don't even want to wear anything. So there's that. Okay, so now that we've put the powder and we've created the base on our face, we want a little bit of color, right? We want a little bit of rosy in the cheek. We want a little bit of highlight potentially, nothing too crazy. What am I going to use? Oh, this one. This is a new one for me if you guys follow me on Instagram. I like Natasha Denona as a whole is really dope, but she can be pricey, so we don't overindulge often. Plus, I get PR, so I really don't buy makeup like that. Thank you, Stella. Let the girls know you're alive and well. She's like doing another lap around the dance. Sit down. Sit down. Have a seat. So I'm going in with a new product. This is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow Palette. Look at this. It's so pretty. She had two different shades, one for medium to light. This is probably deep to dark because you can see that the what do they call it? Blushes are a little deeper, and she's so fancy. Look, like she separates this little plastic little lip thing here. So we're gonna go in with the blush first. I'm gonna use my MAC 126 SES. It came in a like, I don't know, like a rose marble collection back in the day. So I'm gonna go in with the cream blush. Oh wait, they're cream. Let's learn this together. So let's use our fingers. Put it on the apples. Ooh! This is pretty. Isn't that pretty? Wow. And just use our fingers. and kind of buff it out. It has the consistency of, because I have another blush here that I was going to use. And this is in Cool Berries from Fenty. This is a cream blush too. And it kind of, it's very indicative of that. I like it. I'm here for it. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. Just to kind of give you a little bit of, ooh, that was a little heavy. But you can blend it out with your hand. Right? I like that. Stand back a little bit. Okay, she's cute. Then what you could possibly do, because, you know, creams it could be a little challenging, we're going to use the NARS Fire Clay palette. Same brush that we thought we could use for the cream. And just kind of pack that on top. Yeah, that way you can kind of set that cream blush in place. Really, really pretty. Then we're going to continue to use the Bloom palette. And I'm going to find me a highlighting brush. Give me a moment, por favor. Yeah, oh, this is an e.l.f. It's an e.l.f. blush brush, but these are really good for highlighting as well. And I'm going to use this Glow Extreme in the bottom left-hand corner. Ooh, and put that right in the highest points. That's pretty. Okay. That is pretty. Not doing too much, but just enough. And if you ever feel like you've done too much, you can go back in with your powder brush and just kind of pack it to just subdue it just a little bit, like that. Okay. And then the last step that we need to do with this really quick look is go back into our brow pencil and finish out these brows. So like I said, I'm in the shade 5. Woo-hoo. And just kind of create some hair-like strokes, but then because my brow bone is already highlighted, again, it's like my little stencil. That's why I like doing my brows last. To me, it's equivalent to putting in your phone number to see all your savings after you've bought something from the grocery store. That's how I feel about my brows. Yes, now she's eating a bone right next to the camera. Now that we have our brows in place, I like to go in with, this is a conditioning primer, but it also can be used as like a setting product as well, like so that your brows don't move throughout the day. You just kind of crank it up from the bottom, and it has a brush on the tip, and you can just brush your brows in place. They do have, and when I mean they, Benefit, they do have a product to do this as well. Where is it? This is the 24-hour brow setter. I just really like the conditioner. It puts things into perspective. And lip. Listen. This is coming to a channel near you. I'm going to do a whole swatch review, but I am obsessed with the formulation so far, so little teaser. I'm going in with my Luxe Liner in the Koala, which is kind of like a nice rich brown, very indicative of my chestnut vibes. And I'll go ahead and line my lips. Oh yeah, it's so good. So we've lined our lips, and then we're gonna go in with one of their new peachy mauves. I have a choice here between Libra, which I'm a Libra. Or we can go with Mademoiselle, which is what I used when I was in Dallas, and I'm obsessed. It's fair, but when you ground it with the brown lip liner, ladies, especially those with deeper skin tones, don't fret. So I'm going to go ahead. Right? I know, you're like, oh my God. But feel free to go back and forth with your lip liner if you need it. You know what I mean? My eye is itching. Ooh. And then, you know me, I'm a gloss girl, so I'm just going to go over top of it with my Sweet Mouth from Fenty. Be right back. All right, gems, so this is my quick go-to summertime face. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for any of the distractions. I'll put the information about this hair below. This is a local girl to Maryland. And matter of fact, let me do it right now. My favorite hairspray my girl Danielle put me on to. So just threw a couple curls in it because it's typically bone straight. And she's ready to rock. Just want to put the disclaimer out there. Make sure that you guys are using your face mask. I know we just put on a lip. It happens. Like, it is what it is. And if you have any questions, make sure to sound off in the comment section below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't, because I'm feeling the flow. I'm really excited to get out here and just kind of show you girls and guys how we get down with the makeup. I have so many new products that's come in the mail, so that's to come, especially with Dose of Color sending their new palettes. There's some nighttime options I want to give you folks. And till our next video, shine bright. Bye. Fingers down my spine.